Hey everyone, so today I'm doing a video on how to beautify your island. A lot of you guys who watched my last video had a lot of questions and just wanted general tips on how to design your island to have a little bit more personality and just make it look a little bit more interesting. And so today I thought I would walk you guys through my personal tips on how I design my island. We're gonna be transforming this boring slab of land I have here on my island. It's like a relatively untouched part of my island still, and we're going to turn it into something a little bit more interesting with the tips that I'm going to share. So let's just get started. So the first thing I'd say is that it's really useful to have the terraforming tool, the island designer app, because cliffs and river construction is it's a very powerful tool to make your land look a lot more interesting and have a lot more dimensions. So first I'm just gonna clear this land and we're gonna start with building cliffs. And the reason why cliffs are so useful is because they add a lot more dimension to the background. So first I'm just going to remove anything that might get in the way. Ooh. Okay, so now that we've removed some flowers, now I'm gonna chop down some trees so they don't get in the way. And when you build cliffs, you definitely want plenty of room, because after we build these cliffs, we're gonna build some waterfalls and rivers, and you need enough space to do that. So okay, so we're gonna start with building some cliffs in the back. Okay, so you see how if you go to the edge and you try to make a cliff, that means that, and it's not letting me, so that means that there's not enough land to construct a cliff up here. So as you can see right here, there's not enough base to construct any land right here where I'm walking. So I'm just gonna go back here and create more cliff. Some cliffs in the background, and already it kind of gives a little bit more dimension to the background. So to make it a little bit more natural, I'm gonna start adding some curves to the cliffs. So you just want to edit these edges right here. Alright, so now that I did some cliff construction, I just rounded out some edges to make it look a little bit more natural. So you can kind of play around with these edges so they don't look so uniform. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So now we're gonna go in with the river construction, and I think I want to make river flowing this way. So that's a pretty good size for a waterfall. Alright, so with rivers, I'm gonna say that the more you kind of like zigzag river pathways, the more it's gonna make your land look a lot more interesting. So right now, I have my waterfall right here, and it literally just goes straight down into the main river, and I don't really like that. I think it looks pretty boring, so I'm gonna go in and try to make it a little bit more interesting by adding more dimension to it and zigzagging back to the main river. So now that I've edited my river, you can see that it's a lot more not as uniform, and like it adds a little bit more naturalness to the terrain. It makes the land look a lot more interesting. So adding curves like right here and making your rivers go more zigzag will give a lot more dimension to your land and just make everything look a lot less boring. Let's add another river connecting back to this waterfall. Alright, so now we have two rivers connecting to the main waterfall, and already it looks pretty good. Like it doesn't look like so boring as what we started with. So next thing we're gonna do is to work with paths. And paths are gonna be a really powerful way to basically make everything look a lot more cohesive. And when you pair it with fencing, it's gonna look really good. So I'm just gonna take this pattern and create some arbitrary block of paths. I'm just gonna also round out these corners. Alright, so now we have something to basically eventually put furniture on to make it look even more interesting. But next I'm actually gonna go in with fencing. So fencing is actually one of my favorite things they added into this game because it allows for any town to look good. Like, I feel like if you just add fencing, it automatically makes like a pathway or a section of your island look good. So we're definitely gonna play around with some fencing. Say, you definitely want to try like using different kinds of fencing with different kinds of paths, because it's just gonna add more dimension to your land, I guess. So here I just used two different kinds of fencings with this terracotta tiles. But you definitely should try like maybe instead of like a brick wall right here, you would use another kind of wooden fence, you know? So yeah, you should definitely like mess around with what looks good. We're gonna mess around with some furniture now that we're done with fencing and paths. So with furniture, I definitely say that I check out Nook's Cranny every day just to see, even if I don't really like the stuff that they're selling, I feel like you should buy the stuff that they're selling more often than not, because you never know when it might look good for your island later. So I basically never sell furniture, and I always keep it in my storage, because what if like I use it later down the road when I make a new section of my island. So definitely want to stock up on as much furniture as you can. And as a general rule, I would say that you should collect all the furniture that you can redeem with Nook Miles, because those are really good outdoor furnitures you can get for your island. Personally, I don't like using indoor furniture outside, and I don't like putting outdoor furniture inside, so I tend to really like the Nook Miles furniture because they're all pretty much built for outdoors. Yeah, just try your best to collect all the Nook Miles furniture and kind of just see what looks good outside, and definitely mess around with DIY recipes. I have a lot of DIY recipe furnitures outside on my island. And then with Nook Miles furniture, you can actually see that everybody gets like their own set of colorways for their Nook Miles furniture. So, for example, I have a street light in mine that's white, but my friend has a street light that's black. So, swapping furniture with friends for different colorways is a really cool way to accumulate more furniture and getting more items that have colors that go better with the aesthetic of your island. So, you definitely want to like see what your friends have and maybe do trades to see what kind of colorways that you guys have together. The last thing I say about furniture outside is that you kind of want like a theme to go with whatever section you're building at. So if you see in my island tour, I have like a playground, I have like an industrial city area with like a pool and like a vending machine, I have like a cafe, and all those kind of have like their own themes. I think when you have some kind of cohesive theme to put together everything, it makes your island look a lot better. So today I think I'm just gonna build like a nature chill out area, like just a place where you would have like a picnic next to some waterfalls and some nice rivers. So I'm gonna go for that right here. So first, we got some flowers that we got in the beginning of all this. I'm just gonna plant them wherever. Flowers is a really good way to complement the rest of what you're building. I'd say flowers alone isn't strong enough to bring everything together, but they definitely help with making something that already looks good even better. So I actually have a garden lantern that I ordered. I'm just gonna place it right here. I also have these street lamps. Cool, so I took out some trees beyond this brick fence, put some lighting and some flowers around the area. Now I'm gonna get some DIY recipe furniture and just put it right in the center. So I have this garden table that I'm gonna put down. So let's put this duck down here. I'm also gonna put this classic picture down. Get the perfect angle for this picture. Yep. Garden chair right here. And then I'm just putting another chair right at the entrance. So the last thing I'd say is that I actually want a nice tree to complement this whole area, so I'm actually going to edit some of the paths and fencing to allow for that. Now that it's cherry blossom season, I'm going to take cherry blossom tree. So now that I adjusted some fencing, some paths to allow for this tree right here, I adjusted where the garden lantern was, and now I just gotta place a street lamp. Alright, and that's pretty much it, guys. So we transformed a boring slab of land that had only some flowers and trees to something that looks a lot more, it just looks a lot prettier on this section now. I'm just gonna take a picture right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope this was helpful in getting some tips on how to design your island. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments, or you can also join my Discord channel. We have a dedicated Animal Crossing chat in it, and I will be eventually doing invites to my island through the Discord, so definitely join it if you'd like to check out this island. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you in the next one.